Good afternoon and welcome to Weekly Word. My name is Haley Halleck and we are here at the Stitched Head and Heart office. I am the owner and operator as well as an active certified consulting hypnotist and a Psych-K facilitator, as you guys know. I'm going to have to apologize again. Second video apologizing. But for the last month, I think it's been since our last video, and we're in the middle of a series. Well, we're wrapping up a series, so it's just horrible and inexcusable. But I have been crazy busy. So blessings, blessings, blessings. I have to just go ahead and go where the energy takes me. So I appreciate your patience and your diligence in following us online and here at YouTube and Facebook and Instagram and everything else. So let's finally wrap this series up. So we had the art of receiving, right? And we talked about that for 4 weeks. Then we have had good gracious giving for this will be the third week. So the last thing that we had mentioned was intent and setting intention concerning when we give, that we have a mind that in some way there will be some reciprocal income, right? So not to put the expectation on the individual that we gave to, or the business that we gave to, or the nonprofit that we gave to, but rather just knowing that it's coming in from somewhere, right? So we've experienced a lot of that here at Stitched Head and Heart. Staff is busy, I'm busy, and so I appreciate your guys' patience. So this last series is about creating balance. So as I had mentioned before, the problem with the intent sometimes, I think where things get kind of messed up and people get frustrated or feel like they're let down by a person, is that there's an expectation on the person that we've given to, or the institution that we deserve something back from that individual. Expectations are a precursor to being disappointed, right? Because nobody's perfect and we're all going to make mistakes, and so we need to be gracious in that and just know that in some way something's coming back since we've given in to somebody, some cause, whatever. So this last week is about creating that balance, like I mentioned earlier. And the way to do that in a successful fashion and to create that kind of balance, it's a couple of different components. It's about having healthy boundaries and then having healthy expectations. So healthy boundaries look like, I know how much I can give, I'm doing it with an open heart, and there's expectation that something else will come around, but not expectation on said person, right? Or said institution. So not ever giving more than we can and exhausting ourselves and then becoming resentful and maybe feeling some contempt for the institution or the individual. And then on the other side of that, not taking back and keeping a withholding out of fear of scarcity and it not being able to be to come back in, right? So there's your healthy boundaries. Very, very simple. Make sure that you're attentive to those things. Some indications for an individual would be the feeling of feeling used, or feeling exhausted, or some kind of resentment or contempt towards, it can be your job, it can be your kids, you need to fill yourself up, right? You need to make sure that you have enough to give. For example, with me, pouring into humanity and trying to come up with creative solutions, I have to ensure that I'm constantly out in nature and that I spend time alone and that I read books and so on and so forth. That allows me to continue to give without becoming resentful or tired, or and then also not feeling like you're a bad person because you're taking time for yourself. So just so you know, those are some of the components that you may that will be red flags, right? So pay attention to your emotional state when you're giving and when you're receiving. So those are your healthy boundaries. And then the healthy expectations we kind of talked about. We talked about the fact that we have to have the expectation and the intent. So this is all just kind of wrapping up from, the last 4 weeks with the receiving and then these 3 weeks in the giving. When we have healthy expectations, we don't put ourselves in positions where we're disappointed by someone or an institution or work, or like I said, kids, it could be a business partner, it doesn't matter, it's relationship oriented. And when we are not attentive to the expectations that we're putting on another person or on another institution, then we're gonna be disappointed. We're gonna be disappointed that they didn't meet the expectation. So if the expectation is just that the concept of giving and receiving is a natural state, and as long as we're allowing all of our resources to flow through us, there will always be supply, right? But to do that with a conscious mind and an intent creates a healthy expectation formula. So that is literally it for this last portion of Good Gracious Giving, and I appreciate you guys being patient in me getting this out. You can follow us on Facebook at Stitched Head and Heart Project. You can follow us on Instagram and Twitter underneath Haley Halleck, at Haley Halleck. And then here at the YouTube channel, you're more than welcome to leave any questions or any ideas that you have concerning our next weekly word. But I think we're just going to go off the cuff and not have a huge plan. Expectations on myself, see that? Disappoint myself by not getting this done. But now we're done, and next week we'll have just a surprise week. So I am wishing you all a fantastic weekend, and I thank you for listening, and I thank you for following, and I thank you wonderful clients that come in and just are super courageous every week, and you get to laugh and cry and love. So I will see you next week. Fingers crossed.